if you're keeping up with the episodes, you'll know that a couple of days ago I went to the bank and I got some more penny rolls. And yesterday I went over one of the rolls that the person had writing on, and it's one of these red rolls which I hardly ever see, and it says First Union, which I've never seen on one of the one of the red penny rolls before. I've never seen this wrap before, and it was a really good episode. If you didn't see episode 250, right, which was the penny roll. Out of that roll, we found a bunch of pennies to research. And I had to actually make another episode out of it because the research is longer than the actual coin roll hunting. Obviously, I do commentary and stuff like that while I am penny roll hunting. That's the show. That's the whole show, right? My commentary, thought of the day, what's going on with me. Oh boy. So this is and it comes with hairs and everything. There's a hair here. I can't believe there's actually 2 hairs inside of it. That's one. There goes the other one. Could be dog hair. I'm not sure. All right, so let's take a look at this penny roll and see what's what. How much copper do we got in here? Okay, so there was another hair. I'm gonna say, and we found a wheat, and we found the wheat last in the last penny roll also. So I'm gonna say we got at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About the same thing. About between 8 and 10 copper pennies, which is fine. That's 20%. That's a good penny roll. If you get 20%, if you get 10 copper pennies in your penny roll, that is a good penny roll. I mean, at some point there's going to be no more copper. And I don't know why it's been dark lately. You have, let me see, the light on. I'll put the light on. All right, now first penny is a copper one, which is good. With another hair. Yeah, is that a dog hair? Or is that lint? Can't tell. Oh, a 70D. Let me get my mat up again. 70S is the one we really wanted, but that's okay. Wow, that's weak. Where's my handy dandy loopa doopa? Well, yeah, it is weak. Okay, so it's cool. See, and this is why if you find the more copper you find inside your roll, the longer it's going to take. So I'm going to show you why I said it was weak, right? As like a knee-jerk reaction, and it is weak. Look at the top of the O is almost gone. You can see it there a little bit, but there you can see a little bit, but you can tell it's because of the tilt into the hub, right? It's too close to the rim, so it's a little off. It's a little misaligned, right? And you can see that left to right. You can see that's misaligned. One correction I like to make that someone pointed out to me the other day is there's a whole bunch of different. This is a collar error, right? This is a collar error, right? When the collar is it's losing its shape and something, it will change how the outside of the penny looks. And a couple of times I've called this a wire rim. It's not a wire rim. A wire rim specifically is when the outside, the edge, really it's when the edge is coming up, to put it simple, right? When the collar is deformed or degenerated, that it pushes some of the copper from the edge up. And you could tell it looks like, it looks like something maybe you could cut your finger on or something. You know what I mean? Like you can see the edge is coming up. Sometimes it's very light. Sometimes it's a little higher. Obviously, the higher it is, the more impressive it looks. But that is not a wire rim. And I know I've called it that before. It's misaligned. Okay. So the misalignment is what is causing, right? Because you could tell it's pushing it. It's too thin up here, right? So the off-centered is up. Or is the off-centered down? Or the misalignment? Well, irregardless, it's lighter towards the top of the penny. And you can see it here also in the T. But this penny does have some spreading down towards the south. Probably has no value, but anyway, we spent way too much time on that one penny. And that's one of the issues with the copper pennies. More hair. Yeah, this person had a dog. What are you going to do? Another misaligned. Wow, a lot of hair. So that tells me it's not from the same person as yesterday because there was no hairs in the other roll. That's a pretty nice misaligned die. How about the reverse? The reverse is fine. So yeah, that's a pretty nice misaligned die. I wonder if they had I wonder if it's a cat. So yes, I do make errors. That's one of them. I make plenty of errors. Tons and tons and tons and tons of errors I make. And I'm thankful for the comments that correct that. That that's not a wire error. It's a different. The funny thing is, the person told me that what it wasn't, but they didn't tell me what it was. And so they had a criticism about my knowledge, but I guess I'm gonna criticize them right back because I guess they didn't know what it was either. So it's pretty interesting that they knew they knew I was wrong, but they didn't have the answer to what it was, or they didn't tell me what it was. Maybe they did know, but they just felt like not sharing it, which I doubt. I'm pretty sure the person would have told me, no, it's this, but they didn't do that. That would have been pretty cool. Hey, that's not a wire rim. That's just an ordinary misaligned die. That's caused by whatever. They didn't do that. 22D. So to me, if you're going to correct somebody and you're not going to give them the answer, it's like imagine if you went to school. Another hair. I'm telling you, I think it has to be a dog hair. Imagine if you went to school and they just told you were wrong, but they didn't give you the answer, so so you could learn, right? Hey, 2 + 2 is not 5. It's no. They just go, that's wrong. That's wrong. Oh boy, and to me, that's kind of what the person did. Another misaligned die. What do we got going on there? Let me look at that. See if that's just impressions in the dirt. That's what you have to be careful of. It's not impressions in the dirt. What is that? Same thing happened yesterday. It was a dirty penny. Then when I tried to clean it, I saw a couple marks. But you know what? I really don't want to go bananas on this. Yeah. The problem is it's a dirty penny. I mean, it is copper, so we did get a copper out of it. Another misaligned die. All right, I'll put it over there. 95D. Boy. And if the 95D has any doubling on the obverse, it is a key variety. Now, I don't necessarily see doubling, but I do see the outline. And I haven't zoomed in yet. Now, I don't know if that would be considered doubling or not. But let's look at the whole penny and see what we see. Because I hardly ever see a 95. And this might be one we try to do a little research on later just to see. Look at that. Look how the clad fell with those little lines or striations. I also see some stuff going on in the Liberty. All right, let me look at it under the loop. So you definitely see the outline to Lincoln's coat. He has a little blip on his cheek. We're gonna have to go to copper coins to see if that blip. And then in Liberty, I don't see the little bars or anything like that. It's just the impression just left a lip around the letters. I think that's just a wrinkle on his cheek. Okay, so I like what we see here. That I like. There I'm not too crazy about. And what I was talking about on his cheek is right there. And we'll look at copper coins later. If this is the only research penny we have, that's not a big deal. It's when I got really more than one. And depending on how quick we get through this. It's already 15 minutes. We haven't done much. All right. I could step it up a little bit. I just don't want to miss any, I just don't want to, I don't want to cheat the audience. No white AM. See another hair on the penny. Person must have had a cat. Now, if you're allergic to animals and you pull out a roll like this, and it's got all these little animal hairs in it, I'm going to assume And I get a little allergic, but it has to be like a house that doesn't like clean that good. Mm. In that case, my eyes might get watery. The 94, if there's any doubling on the reverse. And it's funny that I was looking at that at the O. It's really the whole thing, the O and E. Now that's hub doubling, and you can see the tilted hub there. So that's pretty common. I guess we could check out that one too. I doubt if that's the error though on on copper coins. I was on one of these forums yesterday, researching a researching wire rim, because the person made that comment. And I forget, that. See, this is the problem when you're not doing this on a regular. Like, I'm not researching wire rim every day, So I actually kind of like forgot, you know what I mean? And I got confused, which happens. And so I was researching wire rim, and I saw a different type of error that I see kind of often. Well, that I've seen a few times. Yeah, often was a little bit of exaggeration. I've seen it a few times. And yeah, you can see the little spike there. I think that is her die crack. I don't like the penny though. And it's when kind of you get these cuts on the side. The one where of the picture on the forum, the person it had a cut similar to ones I've seen, but his left a really pretty image where it took the metal and it flipped it over, onto the penny, and it was really really cool looking. But the cut in the side itself looked similar to what I've seen, and he wasn't 100% sure what it was, but he made his guess was that we think this is copper. Look at that, right into the rim. I think so. Yeah, 70D. Second 70D we found, right? The other one was also 70D. And I remember I said I wish it was a 70S. Well, I like how the America is bleeding into the rim. And it has a die clash. Let me look at that. It looks like it has a die clash. I'm not sure, but it's either a die clash or dirt, or just something changed the way the metal looks. You see that? But that's pretty much how the die clash looks. It's just funny that it kind of changed the surface. Oh, you can see it all. You can see it all through here on the right side, left side when I turn it around. Interesting. All right. No white AM. Yeah, so he said that the what he thought it was debris. The way I understood what he wrote was that he says sometimes a piece of debris will get like on the edge of the penny of the of the planchet, and when the hammer, depending on on the top, then when the hammer comes down, it'll break it'll break the penny. It'll split it, it'll damage it, and that's possible. But not an error that I seen identified in any of the bigger websites. But I am seeing more and more people leaving comments about them starting to do penny roll hunting because of the channel. So that makes me happy. I'm not gonna. It's the video's almost over or getting close to the end, so I'm not gonna get into a whole nother topic. But maybe for the next episode. But the way the economy is going, I can see, like me, like people are I seen people stop can't afford to pay their cable bill, right? So, a lot of people, I'm gonna assume, are just gonna be watching like YouTube videos. Like I mostly watch YouTube videos, except when me and my wife sit down to watch TV together. This looks like a die clash or something. I'm gonna have to say die clash because it's above the. No, maybe not. It looks like a die clash here, but it looks like something else over here. Let me look at this on the loop. Uh-huh. I think I know what's going on. So it's a die clash, right? Because I can see the indentations between the columns. So it's a die clash, and that mark is just is post mint damage. So it's both. It's post mint damage. The little notches in the column is post mint damage, but between the columns is the die clash. So that's pretty cool. So we got a die clash with post mint damage. Lamination error. Is it, or is it just dirt? No, I'm leaning towards lamination error, and because they're going in lines in one direction. How about the other side? The other side looks dirty. Well, I don't have a. I usually have a polishing cloth on my desk. There goes one. All right. Let's see what happens if I wipe it. It's easier to wipe with the rubber finger. Let's see if it comes off. And add any water in. You can use water. Tina asked me a couple of times, what do you use to clean? First of all, I don't recommend cleaning the coins, right? Because that would be, you could damage them. What I do is my business, right? But I don't recommend anybody clean anything. But I use I've noticed that mineral spirits appears not to harm any of my coins. Might totally destroy one of yours. What year is this? A 62D. I didn't even realize it was a 62D. That's another odd one. We got a few Ds. Yeah, so it didn't come out. So I'm thinking it is a lamination error. Yeah, I'm looking at it under the loop. Yeah, it goes throughout the penny. Same thing with the reverse. It's pretty cool. Bunch of spots. Not the typical image, like the wood grain, but I guess maybe this is there. It looks a little bit more woody. Yeah, it looks a little bit more like the woody grain here. Well, irregardless, it's a lamination error. So it would not surprise me for our viewership to really, like the worse the economy is, it wouldn't surprise me for the viewership to really, really explode. Because more and more people are going to be, using the hotspot on their, or just watching YouTube on your, on your phone, or sharing the hotspot with your iPad or what have you. I could definitely see that happen. And you can go to the bank, get your penny rolls, and I believe it's Pam. Pam is one of our dedicated subscribers, and she actually sent a roll of 1924s, and a lot of them had the error on the bottom. And I did a video on it. You can see the video. Oh, here's a 19. Look at that. Isn't that weird? I say 1924, one comes up. And if I remember correctly, hers almost the whole roll had the bottom very weak and around the L. So it was a good example. It was pretty cool. But Pam said that, if I remember correctly again, that she likes watching. Oh, that's nice. We found one decent condition one. This one I could probably put in with the AUs. Let me see if that's dirt in the back. This might be the only AU. Now the other rolls, right? The crazy rolls that we got. Half of the roll is in BU condition, better than AU condition. And I always say it when I go through those penny rolls, which I have a few, that is very, very rare to find a penny roll with all copper, number one, and half of the copper being like gradable condition. That is super, 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 super rare. And I always say that, if you find one in AU condition, I'm happy. And I've just proved that case today. This is the nicest condition copper penny we found. And I'm totally thrilled about it. I actually put it in the bottom. I'll make a short on it. Weird how there were so many 1970s. And a 24. Yeah, so Pam said that, I believe it was her. She said, "Oh yeah, I watch your videos while I do my own coin roll hunting." And I thought that was pretty cool. You know, she goes, "Yeah, I leave you on in the background talking while I'm doing my coin roll hunting." And I even think Eric, who was our first member, this is super sintered. This is a super sintered scent. And you could tell by looking at the edge. Wow. This is a red scent. Now, I do not know if that's where they got not one red scent or if it was a derogatory term relating to Native Americans when it had Indian head scents. I'm sure you can look it up, but there were also, I've never seen a sintered Indian head penny, but this one is, this is how red they can get, even redder than this, right? Because the copper dust, when it gets annealed or sintered, I forgot what comes first, the annealing or the sintering. I think the sintering is, I think the sintering is the result of annealing, right? So you anneal, it gets annealed, right? All of the pennies get annealed, and then if it has the dust on it, it's sintered, something like that. I could have it backwards. Let me look at it under the loop. And you can see some of, I think I'm pretty sure I see some of the red on the edge, because you'll always see it on the edge. But if you want to look at a dark penny and just compare the two, that's where you can really see the difference, right? And that's how, you know, that's where it becomes most dramatic. And you can see that that's the copper dust. If you look at it by itself, you might be able to trick yourself into thinking that's the color of the penny, but yeah, totally different. So it looks like we found over 10 coppers. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, not like 12. So we did over 20. All right. And we only have 2 for research. So you see, now I don't mind doing the research. We got done with the penny hunt in our half an hour goal, and we only found 2 for research. One was this 95D that has the on the bottom. So we'll go to the copper date guide and we'll go to 1995, and then we'll go to the 95D 1DO. Okay, I just want to see. Oh wow, they show some pretty good. I'll show it to you in a second. I just want to see if anything shows around the. He has 2 pictures, 2 pages. None of them are with the. So I'll show you what he. I'll show it to you really quickly. Yeah, we don't have that. But nothing on. Nothing that we found. Wrong penny. What we found was that, which I thought was pretty cool. I could check around the date just to see. I really don't see anything around the date, to be honest with you. Or the model, or, well, Liberty, you got that I talked about before. But not really. I still put it to the side because I like how it looks, the bottom of Lincoln's coat. And this one was, Ford looks pretty cool. What was on this? I'm not sure. I have to look. I forgot already. Before, it's more of a, definitely a hub doubling at the most. Is it on the reverse? Oh, yeah, it's on the reverse. So this is the one with the O. And because it's the 94, the reverse has a key variety, but I doubt that's it. So let me go to the 94s. Back page. The date guide again. Click 1994. And we want to look for P1DR. And he's showing inside of the columns and the steps. Let me see if anything is with the letters. The O-N-E. Yeah. Extra columns. Spread can be seen in America and the designer's initials and sent. Everything except one. Oh boy. All right. So all I can say is let me look at it. Let me look inside the columns. Let me look at the designer's initials. Let me look at sent. Let me look at America. Nope. So I'm going to call it a dud. Everything's identified. That's crazy. Everything's identified except what I see. I mean, you can see the slight spread in scent on the bottom there. Slight in the first two letters, I guess. Maybe even a little bit in the N. There's a couple little lines going through the column right there. That's about it, really. Oh, yeah. Maybe over here, too. I didn't notice that one. It's only when I tilt it, though. So only when I see a line's here. But the one that I liked was here. That's the spread I really saw. So does that make it a key variety? Probably not. I'm going to have to say not. I'll still make a short on it. It was pretty cool. All right. So that's the whole video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please click like and subscribe, all the good stuff. And if you're just starting off, coin roll hunting, penny roll hunting, I hope the channel provides a little inspiration. As you could tell from my earlier comments, I'm wrong quite often, and that's part of the process. You have to be willing to be wrong and accept advice. You don't have to accept criticism. So I will say that. You don't have to accept criticism. Advice is different. Advice is when someone says, hey, I think that is something else, not what you said, what you think it is. Why don't you check out this link over here and tell me what you think? That's advice. That's supportive. That's not what that is. Go learn something else. That's harmful. That's harmful. it might not even be a criticism because the person might not even know what they're talking about, you know. So you have to be careful with the trolls and people who are just out there to knock you down. Don't pay attention to them. Stay here, and I'll be supportive of you and your penny roll and hunt endeavors, and we'll have a lot of fun together. And hopefully, I could be around for a long time to do this with you guys and girls. All right, take care. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.